The FujiCast is an independent loading zone production.
The FujiCast.
Well, usually, Kev, we have our little chat beforehand, but this is a somewhat smaller episode today, so I thought we'd just go straight into our FujiCast theme. Did you have a nice Christmas?
Wonderful. Very quiet, but very wonderful.
It was what, sorry, but wonderful?
Very quiet.
Very quiet, but wonderful. See, the thing is, yeah. Well, our listeners know that this is probably not recorded after Christmas. But I've got this thing going on now that one day to the next, you know, who knows what will happen? I mean, we could be in tier 8 by Monday.
Yeah.
You can't mix with your family. You all have to live in a different room. All right, then.
I just can't wait till they say you're not allowed to mix with your dogs. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, Kev. I bet. Now, we were looking slightly in the future here, okay? Because just so that you know, dear listener, we're doing a slightly shorter episode for this week and for next week. Just a little chinwag about ourselves and what we felt about the year and stuff like that. And so this has been recorded just prior to the big man in red coming down the chimney and doing what he does, because he is COVID proof. Remember. Or was.
Are you on about Alan Wynne-Jones?
That's the one.
He ain't no way going to fit down my chimney.
Oh, well, that's the magic of Christmas, though, Kev. And so we're doing this week just after Christmas and next week just after New Year's as shorter episodes. But we wanted to make sure we had one in the can, so that we had a couple in the can, if you like, so that we could just enjoy a little bit of time off. I mean, and it does feel weird to say we need time off, Kev, doesn't it, really? Because we've had plenty of it.
Yeah. Well, it's been a funny old year, as Arkwright would say.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So, we have had plenty of time off, but actually we've both been keeping the pedals spinning as best we can.
Well, look, I don't know where you want to start with this. I'm going to start with a bit of gear, actually, because I remember when we went into lockdown, you said, that's it, not buying anything else, I'm selling the whole family. But then you went and bought the X100V, the GFX, I dare say a couple of lenses, surely, to go with that as well.
No, the GFX I had way before lockdown.
Did you? I thought you bought it during lockdown.
No, I bought the GFX in January.
Right. So
lockdown came in, March? Something like that. So, yeah, really, the only thing I bought is the X100V. Oh, but I did buy my Dell laptop as well. But that was the best investment of the year, because that's been able to allow me to do literally everything I need to do at home or wherever I need to be.
Is that the best bit of kit of the year, then? Is that your kit of the year?
I think, excluding cameras, definitely.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And whilst I loved my old Microsoft Studio, it was Microsoft Surface Book. It wasn't man enough anymore. And this is, and so I'm editing all my YouTube videos on it. I'm doing everything on it.
You're doing your 4K and also your GFX videos on that.
That video that was last one up, the GFX, the video I filmed on my GFX, the 5 things I liked 2020. Yep, that was all edited on my laptop.
On a laptop.
Yep.
Wow. Can you color correct that as well easily? I mean, can you spider that screen? Because some of the screens, of course, on laptops are not well known for being great to.
You haven't watched that video, have
calibrate.
You?
No, well, have you made one about that?
Yeah. Well, in that video is the tool I bought for calibrating the screen.
Oh no, I did watch that. Yes, the spider one at the end. Yeah. Because I was looking at it thinking, oh, Kev uses spider. That's right. Sorry. Yes, I have. I've slept since then because I use a different one. Oh, because. Yeah, I came away from Spider because we had a guest on earlier this year that said, "Oh no, come away from Spider. Do go with what's it called? What's the other one called? Kev?
Color Monkey.
Color Monkey. Yeah. So you've gone the other way though.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I honestly don't really care about all of the intricacies of it. I was doing it before I was color monitoring it anyway, so. That Dell laptop does have a calibrated screen and kind of cinema colors and everything like that. It's it's proper high end 4K. It's built for video editing and stuff, so it's not a problem.
How much did that set you back then?
I think the one I got was 2,800.
See, I suppose if you compare, I know you're not a Mac man, but taking away the fact you don't like Macs.
It's not that I don't like them. I just don't have them.
I don't have them. Yeah,
because they're horrible.
So you don't like them. Revert to original. That actually, I don't know what a fully packed 15-inch MacBook Pro is these days with everything you can throw at it, but I doubt it would have the power and the grunt of that.
No, well, this is a 15.6-inch screen, but it's in a 13-inch body because there's no bezels, right? So it's edge to edge. 64 gig of RAM. It's got an i9 processor, 1 terabyte drive. It's got 4 USB-C ports. Incredible sound, massive trackpad. It's just brilliant. It is brilliant.
Would you get rid of then your big old screens and just work off a laptop? Could you ever see yourself doing that?
No, because I do like the big, when you're zooming in and stuff like that. It's more comfortable to work on my studio machine for sure with my big screen and everything. And remember that machine in the studio is even more powerful. So yeah, I mean this is just perfect for I shot a small wedding just before Christmas. I edited all of that on this and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And the GFX files that are huge. No problem with those at all.
No, not at all.
Blimey.
None. Like literally none. I mean, it's a little bit slower than the one in the office, but it's certainly workable. Very happy with it.
Send the box back that we got for Kev, the big proper Christmas present with a Dell in it. He's already got one. He's got one. Doesn't need one. We'll keep it.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing about this was Dell are on top cashback. So I also got, I think it was 167 quid in top cashback back.
I'd say your quid's in there then, Kev. Look at that. You're like the Martin Lewis of photography.
Honestly, those who are not using top cashback are missing a treat. We did all of our food shopping on money back from top cashback this year. Christmas.
Wow. You got me into top cashback a couple of years ago and I used it and I had an experience where it didn't really work the way I wanted it to. I don't think I set it up properly, to be fair.
Well, clearly not, no. Yeah. I've had over nearly just under £2,000 back over the years that I've been using it now.
Yeah. So look, that's the Dell that is your favourite thing, but your purchase of the year, your camera of the year though. I mean, I know you've not been buying lots of cameras, but it's still the X100V, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only one I bought, but yes. In fact, it's the only one I really would have bought this year, really. There hasn't been anything else. The X Pro 3 came last year.
Yeah. And you're not really an XT man so much, are you?
No, I don't.
Oh, Git! Oh, it's so good to see you. How are you? What's Kev buying you for Christmas, Git? Really? Does it come in your size? See, Kev, he loves you, wants to come and join you for every single podcast. He's like your little co-presenter, isn't he?
Yeah, we gave him a bath yesterday. He didn't like it.
I saw he snuck, by the way, onto your new sofa.
Yeah.
You said you weren't going to do that, and there he was, a photograph of him. Well, look, we had a complaint come in because obviously at Christmas time, season of good cheer, and goodwill to all people and all that kind of stuff. So Klimping couldn't resist it. He got just a little bit more personal this time, though, Kev.
Good old Klimping.
I can't find it. Where have I put it? Have you still got it?
Yeah, I've got it. So this is Merry Christmas to you too, Klimping. This is not a photography podcast. It's the boring, repetitive ramblings of two blokes talking about weddings and websites.
Oh, dear. He clearly hasn't listened much of late, has he? Because I look at it, what have we done of late? How to judge a photocomp? Is it time to embrace rolls of film? New Fujifilm simulations, sepia, scanners, camera setups, candid shots, Martin Parr, the importance of testimonials. We talked about Kudelka's gypsies, zooms and primes, Tony Ray Jones, possibility of an XT5, iPhone shots, large format printing, day in the life sessions, photo mechanic, XS10, fashion photography, video, neg cleaning, portrait advice, monitors, custom settings, motorsport photography. Björn Murman talked about his amazing aerial work and street work in Dubai and the Middle East generally. I mean, I don't think Klimping's been listening in class.
No.
Because if you,
I wonder if he gives, like, for Christmas cards, if he just goes around people's houses and puts, like, cat poo through the door. Like
he's a miserable old isn't he? I suspect we know who he is.
I think we probably do.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Something was found out. But it was really weird that I went through, only the other week when I was on the south coast, I went through a village called Klimping. I almost drove off the road. I had to stop and take a picture of the Klimping village sign.
Oh, we love him, really.
Oh, I know. Look,
Special way.
happy Christmas and Happy New Year, Climping.
Less said about the better.
Less said, the better, yeah. But anyway, we thought we'd send a little message of goodwill to him. But I mean, it's been a year, I think, Kev, photographically, where, I mean, it has shut down on the social photography front. And I remember always saying to my wife before we go skiing each year, that, I'm not so sure I want to go skiing just in case I fall over, break my ankle, and I've got 6 weeks off. I mean, the horror of if somebody would have said to me, never mind 6 months, Neil, you're going to have the best part probably a year between March and March, before stuff really gets going again, I'd have been horrified.
Yeah, it has been really weird, although there's been positives, and I think that all of us in the wedding photography world have had to ready for it. Pivot. Yeah. Like a screwdriver that goes both directions.
Oh, thank you.
That's us. Yeah, that's us. I'll be one with a big fat handle. You can be one with
well,
bald hair.
Prior to this year, I thought pivoting was something you did, on a Sunday afternoon if you went to that club. But, pivoting is something we've had to do. So what have you done? You've sort of knuckled down and did your first set of proper Lightroom presets, didn't you?
Yeah, did that. Did a whole load of websites. I've been doing websites for other people. Although, when I say the website stuff is more kind of for friends and things like that. But the preset stuff did early on, like really early on. First thing I did, woke up, had a beer, did the presets. That was it. Got them out of the way, and they've done really well, and I'm really happy. And they've kind of saved our bacon a bit.
Mm-hmm. There's new ones on the way. New ones on the way.
New ones on the way. Hopefully, yeah. Once we get through to the next part of the year, that's kind of done it really. But what I've kind of, this whole process has kind of proved to me really that we used to spend all of our time shooting weddings, editing weddings, chasing weddings.
Yeah.
Shooting weddings, editing weddings, chasing weddings.
Yeah.
And actually, it doesn't always have to be that way. And I've got plans for next year, all things being equal, if the vaccines and everything kick in and we can start seeing people and stuff, that will involve doing weddings still, but don't think it's going to be so much the 90% of my business any longer.
If you had the opportunity to make it 90% of your business now, would you?
Yeah, probably. I just I'm preparing myself for it not being it, put it that way. So things will change. And I've started doing things that I would never have thought about doing before, in terms of maybe even thinking about portraits and bits and pieces like that. But it's nice to it's nice. I think you and I were talking about this the other day. It's nice to be not going to a wedding every Saturday. And I mean, you do a lot more than me. But
did
a lot more. That's quite a nice thing. That's quite nice. Well, of course we want to do weddings. We still want to do the business. We still want to do the work. But I think anybody, I always used to have, raise one of my substantially pointy eyebrows when people who used to shoot, like 120 weddings a year would say, yeah, but but only charge really low rates. Yeah, but I do it because I really love it. I love weddings. I'm like, I'm not sure you can love them that much. 120 of them. Some of them are going to be very hard work. So I think it's going to be good for me in terms of, I think I'll find a natural level of weddings that I'll shoot, which I suspect will be somewhere between 15 and 20 weddings a year.
We've had very varying sorry, Climping, you might want to turn this bit off because it's about weddings for a while, my friend. But we've had very different thoughts about when and how weddings would come back. And I think very early on I was like, oh, it's all right, Kev, by Christmas we'll be out there again. And of course we haven't been. In fact, we're more locked down now than we were a couple of months ago. And it does look to me, I might have to actually hold my hands up and say, Kev, you were right, you old sausage, because it does look like I don't think we'll be going back before March, April. Do you?
Did you just call me an old sausage?
Yeah. I was going to say something else, but I thought I can't use the bleep machine too much. It costs a $5 a bleep.
We have had different opinions on this, and I think that I mean, ultimately, it all comes down to this vaccine, doesn't it? And I'm not so much about how many people get it, but how long it lasts. They don't know that yet. They won't know until 6 months after the first batch whether it lasts 6 months or longer. So, based on that, I just absolutely can't see 200 people weddings happening in the first half of this coming year.
No.
That's my assumption. I may well be totally wrong, and quite frankly, my old corned beef pie, I hope I am very wrong. But, this is where the pivoting is coming from, isn't it? This is why we have to prepare and, plan and do everything else. And you've been doing loads of stuff, with your the audio stuff and the daily podcast and everything. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think I sometimes, not sometimes, I often look at it and think, God, Kev pivoted and he went off and he made, reasonable he made sure there was a cash flow going on within the business. And that was important. And I didn't really. I pivoted and thought, right, let's play the long ball or the long game. And that's what the podcasting has been like for me. Because when we stopped 31st of May, we stopped doing the daily show, didn't we? And I started up the very next day, 1st of June, with the Photography Daily podcast. And I thought, right, this is long game, because I know that podcasting does not make you an awful lot of money, or any money, to be honest, to start with, for quite some time. And it's a real brick by brick thing. I think podcasting is going to be very important for many photographers trying to get their message and words out there. And it's part of an overall strategy, I think, within your social media perhaps now. But I thought, right, I'm playing the long game, and so I haven't been so commercial with my pivoting. I have made a few changes though, Kev. I mean, I've set myself up to do a little bit more studio portraiture when we can all meet again. I intend to do commercial work. I think I've got to a stage in my life and my career with a grey beard where I feel that I can walk into a boardroom now and hold my own with these corporate types and work back in the corporate game. Because when I worked in commercial portraiture before, that was in my early 30s. No, must have been mid-30s. It was mid-30s. And I was thinking, I never really I felt like I was too young to be, I don't know, it's a personal thing, walking into some of these boardrooms. But now I feel I can. But yeah, I pivoted toward that, although I've not been able to do that yet, of course, because we've not really been able to. I know there's been some portrait photographers that have been out there and been able to work very, not very comfortably, but certainly more comfortably than we have during this time, haven't there?
Yeah, I think, unless you're in proper lockdown where you can't see other people and the business, and that, your businesses, in many cases, businesses can still run, and that does include portrait studios.
Yeah.
As long as they're 2 meters apart and you can do it. But yeah, I mean, it's, I'm just going to do things that interest me and excite me. Yeah. That's basically it.
Talking of which, YouTube. I mean, that's one thing you've done a lot more of, and you've become a weekly YouTube filmmaker.
Well, I wouldn't say weekly, but yeah. Actually, I've done a bit more than that, and I will be doing more of that because one of the things I'm going to be doing early next year is moving out of my little studio and moving into a bigger studio, let's say. So that opportunity has come up that will allow me to do a lot more stuff, including YouTube and like a lot more space for education, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that will pick up definitely, and that's part of my. Although that's going to cost more money to run, it's what you call long-term pivoting.
Yeah, that's a long-term game again.
Oh my word! It is. I hate it's pivoting. We've got to stop using that word.
Well, words like social distancing. I hated the fact, by the way, that social got taken away, got sort of kidnapped really by this disease. I like what in America, I think they call it more physical distancing. I saw recently one of our chefs doing a program where, what's his name that runs the Fat Duck? Oh, he's brilliant chef. Not the Fat Duck. No, I'm thinking of a different one. Hand and Flowers in Marlow. Oh, I can't think of his name. Brilliant chef. Anyway, he said he'd banned the word social distancing in his restaurant. And now everybody has to use the words physical distancing. Because I think some of those words have been horrible. They've been sort of taken away from us. I really resent social becoming a kind of dirty word almost.
The one thing that always makes me chuckle and used to wind me up a bit was when they say self-isolating.
Oh,
Like, you don't need to use the word self, because if you're isolating, you're by yourself. The word self is not necessary in that statement. Self-isolate. If you're isolating, you're isolating.
And I'm really looking forward to the day people say, "Shall we meet up for a coffee?" without putting "socially distanced, of course," in brackets after it. That became a real bugbear of mine. I'm thinking if I've upset somebody now who I know uses that quite a lot. Sorry, but I think it's something that people have naturally sort of started to use, and I really hope we don't see that for much longer. And I'm going to have a ritual burning of masks one day. Not yet, obviously. Oh, I hate the masks. You look all right in your mask, though. Everything you do, Mullins, looks all right. You look like you continue to look like Clooney.
What I like about the masks is that you can get away with not smiling at all, without even worrying about it. A little twist of the eyebrow is all you need to do. Perfect.
You could carry
even yawn in front of people without them knowing.
You could carry on doing that at your weddings, then. Just Why is that man still wearing a mask 5 years after the pandemic? Oh, that's Mullins. It's part of his act.
Mullins the mask.
Yeah,
Mullins the visible mask.
What have you learned about yourself then during this time? I think we may have covered it, but are you, apart from the fact that you can handle 10 beers more than I can each night?
Yeah, I've learned the fact that I'm part alcoholic, part cheeseaholic, part badfootaholic, anti-masker, pro-vaxxer, clinical pivoter.
Clinical pivoter.
That's it. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? Because we're not really at the end of it. So that's a question we should ask each other.
Maybe in a year's time. Do you think you become a bit more institutionalized in your own home?
I think after that first one, that first proper lockdown when everybody kind of went at home and just looked at each other through windows.
Yeah.
I did think at the end of it, I could do this forever. Why do you need? I don't need to go and see new people.
You liked it.
All the people I've seen in my life, I've done. I don't need new people.
What about the dad's pub thing and stuff? Didn't you miss all that?
Yeah, but it's
not that much.
Not that much. I haven't been to a pub since February. Yeah,
February.
Not really. Not that I can think. I don't think I've been. Might have gone once during the June open time and sat in a garden with somebody. I think I did. That's it, yeah.
Maybe the last time you went to the pub was the week before lockdown. 'Twas the week before lockdown. The week before lockdown, you and I went out to... we did some recordings. I think we did about 2 or 3. I think we may have done 3 because we thought we'd better get a load in here. And do you remember we went to try and find somewhere to eat? And it was really weird because the sandwich bar was closed. That's always open. Then went to the Swan, which is by the railway station, closed, always open. Yes. And then eventually we went down the road and we found that place, the Row Barge, which is a lovely English pub on the canal. Yeah. And it was, that's the last time I think I sat in a pub.
Yeah, I remember that, yep.
And it was weird, wasn't it? It was really weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But now it's the norm, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it is, but I don't want it to be the norm that much longer. So you got your plans for your photography. So that's going to be YouTube. It's going to be more training.
Well, as long as we can all get people in.
Portraits.
More presets, more weddings, that kind of stuff. How many weddings have you got booked now for next year? Like, if the world went back to normal tomorrow, how many have you got in the diary?
142.
Oh, that's good.
No, I've got 33, I think, 35 maybe. I haven't added them up. Did you know, normally if you ask me that question, I would know like that. But I don't. Now, I don't know. I'm going to tempt fate here, but I know it's going to happen. I haven't got a single postponement yet next year, but I reckon most people are waiting to get through Christmas, suss out what the government are going to say in the first couple of weeks of 2021, and then perhaps move stuff again.
Yeah, it's really difficult for people, isn't it? Because these announcements only ever give, they say, right, everybody's in tier 4 or whatever it is, and we'll review it again in 2 weeks. And if your wedding's in 4 weeks' time, that you kind of think, well, do we cancel it or do we wait until the 2-week notification? It would be a lot better if they basically said, this is what it will be. And I'm not about real normal life. I'm on about things like hospitality sector, weddings, football stadiums, all that, if they said, right, and guaranteed until the 1st of August or whatever arbitrary date they pick, this is what the situation will be. So you can plan and you can schedule and you can deal with it. But this constant, about with numbers and changing things around just doesn't help anybody. Just really doesn't.
What an impossible task, though. But listen, we were going to do a couple of weeks of this. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about inspirations. So this week was a bit about how we got through it. Next week is inspirations. And I dare say, Climping, at some stage, we're going to be talking about weddings. So you may want to miss that one, just for a week or two. Or maybe a month. Or perhaps a year. That would be nice. Thank you, by the way, for the wonderful Christmas present, Kev. This is amazing. I know... Look, there's Martin Parr, Mardel. Do you pronounce it Plato?
Plato, isn't it?
Plato.
Mar del Plata.
You're the Espanol speaker and here. And jigsaw puzzle. Who would have thought Martin Parr would have jigsaw puzzles?
Now expect to see you a picture of that done by the time the Queen's speech comes on.
Yeah. Well, of course, it would have been done by now because this is Monday, Kev.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
This is incredibly well made. It's lovely. And it came with a poster as well.
Yeah.
It's
Gemma
like...
queued up for 2 hours in the post office to get you that.
Oh, well, thank you, Gemma. This is like the busiest beach ever. It's a bit like, have you seen the baked beans puzzles? It's a bit like that. There must be about, I don't know, 4,000 people in this one stretch of beach. They're not socially distancing.
No, they're not, indeed. Well, enjoy it. Start with the corners. Always start with the corners.
Oh, yeah. Start with the corners. Well, 221 pieces. There we go. And I've just sent you a Project Whiskey, really. So I expect you to finish that in one sitting.
I preferred the whiskey.
No, this is great, Kev. I've got plenty of whiskey at the back. Anyway, look, have a good New Year, Kev. Last year we really made a big party of welcoming in 2020. If we'd have known, I'm not sure we'd have bothered so much. Have you got any plans for it?
No, none. New Year's Eve. I did have a wedding booked, but it's been cancelled, obviously.
Oh, dear.
Tier 4 it was in Berkshire, in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I know. It's our fault, Kev. I don't know.
4 people. 4 times they've cancelled now.
I know. It's just rotten on them. Are you still booked in maybe one day to do it with them?
Potentially, yeah. They might just go off. It.
There we are. That'll be the message for New Year. Oh, here we go again. Have a great New Year. As much you can, and we'll see you on the other side in 2021. Bye, Kev.
Bye. Happy New Year.
The FujiCast is an independent Loading Zone production. Email the show with your questions and words of wisdom to click@fujicast.co.uk. Email any complaints and political nonsense to our wives, who will deal with your comments in their own good time and in their own good way.